Hi, I'm Diana Zaya, the founder of Maverick Systems, and I want to talk to brokerage owners, managers, and leaders today, specifically on how to use data analytics to help your agents uncover more listings, secure more listings, and actually see them to close more efficiently. And we're going to talk about how we're going to use data to do that. The first thing that you want to do is you want to identify the agents in your brokerage that need assistance. And the way that you're going to do that is by looking for a very distinct persona that I like to call listing assist. And this is made up primarily of agents that are securing or closing less than 40% of their business on the list side. So they're buy side heavy. You're going to look for agents, no matter how long they've been in business. We're not looking at years in business for this one, but we're going to look for production levels. And you want to find agents that have at least closed one or two listings in the last year. This is a good indication that they have the demonstrated ability to secure and close listings. We're also going to look for production in the last 12 months of roughly about six sides or more. I'd say probably 6 to maybe 18 sides is a really good range to be in. So identify these agents in your database by querying your database using those parameters. Once you've isolated them, you can tag them in your database so that you can go back to that search over and over again. I would recommend calling up these agents and setting up a meeting with them to talk about how you can help them generate more listing business. Now, prior to the meeting, there's some data that you want to come with. And there's two sets of data that you're going to specifically bring to that meeting. The first set of the data is data that is readily available within the MLS, or a data vendor such as Maverick Systems can supply that data to you. But you're going to look for how many listings that agent has taken over the last 12 months. I say 12 months if you're doing this for the very first time. Now, if you're regularly meeting, we're not going to use the 12-month date range in the future. You could probably do this maybe twice a year. But if it's the first time you're meeting to pull this data and talk about this, I would suggest going back 1 year. So how many listings have they taken over the last year? How many listings have they closed over the last year? Average days on market and list to sell ratio. Now you're going to ask the agent to bring some data with them too when they come into the meeting. And what they're going to bring, if they're tracking it, and if they're not tracking it, you want to encourage them to begin tracking it, but you want them to bring the number of seller conversations they have had over the last year. So a seller conversation is anyone that they have talked to about the possibility of representing them in a sale, in a home sale. This can be a phone conversation. This can be, talking to your brother's neighbor at the barbecue. Whoever it is, if it's a documented conversation that the agent has had with another party about selling their home, and it's documented in their CRM, we want to pull the number of conversations that they have had over the last year. Additionally, we want to pull the number of listing appointments they have gone on over the last year. So you see what begins to happen now when you bring all of this information into that meeting. We've got the number of seller conversations that have occurred, the number of meetings or listing appointments that has translated into, how many of those resulted in the listing being taken, and how many of those listings went on to close. What did they close for? How long did it take to close them? So what we've done is we've created a listing funnel, and we're using data to do that. And so now when I've got my listing funnel, I can sit down with my agent and say to them, you know what? I can see really clearly where you're getting stuck in the funnel. And it looks like you're way back here where you're not even having conversations with sellers. And so your list side business is going to be lower if you're not generating enough listing leads. So if I'm coaching this agent and I were their manager, I would start to focus our time on how do you uncover listing leads? How do you generate listing leads? How do you engage with sellers in your market? But it's going to be more of that early stage lead gen type of coaching and training that we're going to focus on. However, if you go through the funnel and you find that, okay, well, they're having enough conversations, they're getting the meetings, we're just not securing the listing. Now I know to focus my time and attention on What's your listing presentation look like? Or how are you generating excitement ahead of the listing presentation? Do you know who you go up against when you go into a listing appointment? Are there a couple of agents in this market that dominate the market? Who are they? What do you know about them? How can we be better prepared to secure that listing every single time? And so we can coach like this one-on-one. Now, the really cool thing too is you can do this if you have all the numbers, you can do this analysis at the brokerage level rather than the agent level. And so if you find that there's the majority of your agents, 60, 70% of them are struggling with the same issue, you can create a lot of resources, tools, training and programming around that issue to meet the needs of your agents more effectively. And this is a really cool way that we can use data analytics to drive better outcomes. For more information, please feel free to email us at info@mavericksystems.com. We do supply the analytics, we supply the coaching and consulting, and we integrate all that data into your already existing systems like your CRM, so you don't have to try to struggle to figure it out. Thanks so much for hanging in with me. Chat with you soon. Thanks. Bye-bye.